Milling your own flour at home can feel a little overwhelming and intimidating. So today I want to share with you a few recipes and tips and tricks so you can feel confident milling your own flour at home. Before we get going, I do just want to let you know that I have a cold and that is why I sound like this, but we are just going to keep on keeping on. I want to kick this off with a really easy and delicious fresh milled brownie recipe. And the reason why I'm starting with this is because I think there is a misconception that milling your own flour is only for baking bread. But really, anything that you use flour for, you can use fresh milled flour. And I will be showing you how to make sourdough bread with fresh milled flour and another really easy dinner recipe. But first, let's make some brownies. This recipe is from the Essential Home Ground Flour book by Sue Becker. This is probably the most comprehensive fresh milled flour book on the market, and I totally recommend it. I'll leave a link for this in the description box below. But to do this, I am using a soft wheat. So when you are milling wheat, there are two types of wheat that we use, soft wheat and hard wheat. Soft wheat is for things like cakes and cookies and brownies and pastries because it has more moisture content. So it is a softer wheat. And it also doesn't have the gluten structure that a hard wheat does. So that's why it's good for things like brownies. Generally speaking, 1 cup of wheat berries will yield about 2 cups of flour. It does not always work out quite that perfectly. Sometimes you have a little extra, sometimes you need to mill a little bit more, but that ratio is a good starting point. And if you happen to mill extra flour, what I like to do is just put it in a plastic baggie and then stick it in the freezer because it does oxidize quickly because you really don't want to waste that fresh flour. I do not sift my fresh milled flour because I want to keep all parts of the wheat berry in it because that means it has 100% whole grain nutrition. But really, if you're using fresh milled flour, you make these recipes the same way you would make anything else for the most part. The big difference in the case of using soft wheat and baking pastries, for example, is that because it does have a little more moisture in it, you may need to use up to a 1/4 cup more flour. So if you're trying to convert your regular old brownie recipe into a fresh milled flour recipe, you will probably need to add a little bit more fresh milled flour. Now you'll see later it's actually different when we use hard wheat, but for soft wheat, you might have to add a little bit more. Also, this recipe calls for, I think, 3 cups of sugar, which for me is a lot. But if you have sensitive taste buds and you are getting used to whole grain, sometimes adding a little more sweetener or a little more butter, for example, can help balance out those flavors because whole grain baked goods do have a slightly earthier taste that I personally think is delicious. But as you can see, as I'm making these brownies, the process is essentially the same. The only major step that's different is I took about 45 seconds to mill some flour, and then I just simply mix the dry ingredients together, mix the butter and sugar and vanilla eggs together and combine them and put them into a buttered pan to bake. So really, if you are used to baking brownies, you can 100% make fresh milled brownies. And though the process is the same, the result is a little bit different sometimes. Because this is an unsifted flour, sometimes the texture is a little heavier than what you might be used to. And as I mentioned, the flavor is also a little earthier. And if that's something that you don't enjoy or if you need to acclimate to, you can also incrementally add fresh milled flour into your baked goods over time until you reach the flavor you like or you feel accustomed and used to 100% whole grain baked goods. One of the benefits of milling your own flour is that those wheat berries are shelf stable for many, many years, which is not true for store-bought flour. So we actually started off by just getting these 5 and 1 pound bags of wheat berries to see which ones we like. I think the most popular place to source bulk bags of wheat berries is probably Azure Standard. We do not purchase from Azure simply because they do not deliver where we are. We live on the coast of North Carolina and literally Interstate 40 ends in our town. And and so there are no shipments from Azure that come here. So I've recently ordered 20-pound bags from a family farm in Colorado. I will give you an update about how those grains are. But one of the things that I use to store these grains are these 2.5-gallon buckets from Sam's Club. I keep these in my regular pantry where I'm going to store the remainder of the, I think, 40 pounds of grains that I got. I don't know. We live at sea level. There's no basement. There's no cellar here. So I'm not sure yet. But if you need to store grains in a regular size pantry, these 2.5-gallon buckets are really great for that. Okay, so let's talk about making bread. I have milled half hard white winter wheat and half hard red winter wheat. The main difference between the two is the flavor. You can make your bread with all white wheat. You can make it with all red wheat. It's really up to you, any combination thereof. But I'm using hard wheat because it has more gluten and it's better for making bread. So if you remember when we made the brownies, that was a soft wheat. For bread, you usually want to use a hard wheat. The two most important differences when baking bread with fresh milled wheat is 1, you need to increase the hydration by about 5 to 10%, and 2, you need to let the flour and the water autolyze for about 30 to 45 minutes, meaning you mix the flour and water together and then you just let it sit to absorb the water. Now, when I'm converting my regular sourdough sandwich bread recipe like this one, which is over on my website at moonandmagnolia.com, I increase the hydration by 10. And then as I'm mixing the flour and water together, I add in more water as needed just to make sure I can pick up the dry flour on the bottom and the sides of the bowl. When all was said and done, I added 10% more water, plus I'd say maybe 2 more tablespoons to catch that flour, which is a pretty high hydration dough, but we want more hydration because that fresh milled flour absorbs more, but also the higher the hydration, the softer the bread will be. So I tend to prefer a high hydration dough. Now, I have seen a lot of people on Facebook groups talk about not being able to get their fresh milled flour dough to achieve the window pane test. I have not had any trouble with this. This dough was really pillowy and beautiful, and my hunch is that it is because it is a higher hydration dough. That dough bulk fermented for about 6 hours, and I shaped it and cold proofed it overnight. Now, whole grain flour like this does have a more sour flavor, so you can skip the cold proofing if you want a less sour flavor. I actually have a full YouTube tutorial and a blog post about how to reduce the sourness of your sourdough. I will leave links for those in the description box. But then I did the second rise, baked this as usual, and this is a delicious 100% whole grain sourdough sandwich bread. I hear a lot of people say that baking bread with fresh milled flour is a totally different ballgame, but really the quality of the dough should be the same whether it's with store-bought flour or fresh milled flour. So if you're used to baking bread, really just look for the same qualities in the dough. Okay, last up is a really easy, no wait, fresh milled pizza dough. So my 3-year-old has been begging for pizza for the last few days. So I made her a pizza dough with kamut, which is a hard wheat. This is a really simple combination of 1 cup of fresh milled hard wheat, 1.5 teaspoons of baking powder, about 1/2 teaspoon of salt, and 1 cup of Greek yogurt. So what I like to do is mix all these ingredients together and then just let the pizza dough sit aside for a little bit while I get the toppings and stuff together, because I want those grains to absorb some of that liquid. It's pretty forgiving, so it's not that big of a deal if you don't let it rest, but I have to get this stuff together anyway, so I might as well let it rest. I did mill a little bit of extra flour so I can use it on the counter, and now I'm just kneading this for about 2 to 3 minutes until it is no longer sticking to my hands. Now, I had extra flour to use on the counter and to add to the pizza dough just to make sure it wasn't too sticky. But if you have some extra fresh milled flour in the freezer from a prior recipe, something like this is a really great way to use that up, because you don't really want to mill more flour just for a dusting or for like a tablespoon more. But if you have some in the freezer, that's really helpful. This fresh milled pizza dough comes together in about 5 minutes, and then you just top it with whatever you would normally top your pizzas with. My daughter really wanted just a plain cheese pizza. She was very adamant, no pepperoni, only cheese. So we had a plain cheese pizza for dinner. And then after topping it, it goes in a preheated oven at 450. I think ours baked for about 12 minutes until the crust is completely baked through, and of course the cheese is bubbly and delicious. This recipe is probably the easiest and most effective way to get whole grain nutrition in my 3-year-old's diet within just a few minutes. I have a growing library of simple and approachable fresh milled flour recipes and tutorials here on YouTube and over on my blog at moonandmagnolia.com. I will leave links for those in the description box. Also, to get all of the new fresh milled flour recipes and tutorials, be sure to sign up for the email list. I will send them straight to your inbox when you sign up. Last but not least, if you found this video helpful, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to Moon and Magnolia's YouTube channel. Thank you so much for stopping by today, and I will see you again next time.